بنیادی حقوق انہوں نے دو بنیادی حقوق کا تذکرہ کیا ہے اپنی پریئر میں، ایک ہے 17 اور ایک ہے 25.
My Lord, on Article 70.
ایک ذرا سی بات سن لیجیے نا. 17 کہتا ہے کہ ہر شخص کو الیکشن میں ووٹ ڈالنے کا حق ہوگا اور پولیٹیکل پارٹی بنانے کا حق ہوگا. اس پہ تو کوئی آپ کی کوئی رائے منفی رائے تو نہیں ہے نا؟
نہیں سر.
ہاں
نو سر، ناٹ ایٹ آل.
اچھا، پھر 25 کیا کہتے ہیں؟ سب کو آپ برابر ٹریٹ کریں گے.
سر
اس پہ بھی آپ کی کوئی
ناٹ ایٹ آل. نو.
یہ جو سمبل وغیرہ کا جو ذکر ہے یہ سارا الیکشن ایکٹ میں آتا ہے.
My Lord,
سمبل کا ذکر کہاں آتا ہے الیکشن ایکٹ میں؟
Election Commission of Pakistan is directed to forthwith publish the certificate filed by the petitioner on its website in terms of Section 209 of the Election Act
اس
2017.
سے پہلے ڈیکلیریشن کہاں ہے؟ الیکشن were in accordance with law.
There is none, my Lord.
So this will only follow that declaration.
There is no such declaration.
Yes, the elections were held proper, whatever, and then issue the certificate and issue the election symbol. But I find that declaration missing.
That is missing. My Lord, I can only presume. They presume to be acting. The presumption appears to be that under 209, under Section 209, once the certificate is given, that is conclusive of the matter. The Election Commission cannot see whether the elections were fair or foul, proper or improper, in accordance with law or otherwise.
جمہوریت کے تقاضے پورے نہیں ہو رہے ہیں. دیکھیے اس سب چیز کا جہاں تک میں سمجھ چکا ہوں، کچھ چیزیں ٹیکنیکل ہے، یہ کرو وہ کرو، یہ کاغذ فائل کرو، سیکرٹری جنرل یہ فلاں فلاں، چلیں وہ ہم سب نظر انداز کر دیتے ہیں. ایک بنیادی چیز ہے جمہوریت. جمہوریت ملک میں بھی ہونا چاہیے اور جمہوریت پارٹی میں بھی ہونا چاہیے. ٹھیک ہے، آپ کو ٹالریٹ کرنا ہوتا ہے، گیو اینڈ ٹیک. کبھی آپ کے مخالفین بھی آ جاتے ہیں کبھی کبھی. تو بنیادی بات تو جمہوریت کی ہے. آرٹیکل 17 تو یہی کہہ رہے ہیں نا. تو آرٹیکل 17 کا ڈکلیریشن تو دیں. ہائی کورٹ آپ نے کہا یہ آپ کا الیکشن مسترد ہم کرتے ہیں، ہم اس کو نہیں مانتے. ٹھیک ہے، آپ نے غلط کر دیا تو ہائی کورٹ پھر اس کو ٹھیک کرے نا کہ نہیں یہ الیکشن صحیح تھے.
That finding is not there.
اگر وہ الیکشن صحیح تھے پھر ان کو سرٹیفکیٹ بھی ان کا ماننا چاہیے، پھر ان کو انتخابی نشان بھی دینا چاہیے. پھر تو سب چیزیں فالو کریں گی نا تھرو. That are consequential reliefs, not the main relief.
This is the exactly problem we are facing.
Yes.
We do not know where the reasons will go.
انہوں نے کہا reasons amplify کر سکتے ہیں, but this is a fundamental prayer which seems to be subject to, I'm saying it aloud, so they make a note of it and they address it. Where is that declaration? Because the prayers you will see kindly declare that the elections held on 2nd of December 2023 were in accordance with the constitution of the political party and in accordance with law and the whatever.
Because they will amplify the reasons within the ambit of the short order.
And then the next step will be and consequential relief, including accepting the requisite certification, issuing the symbol, doing 500 other things if they're required to be done. But those can follow, or even if they're not written, those can be implied. But the declaration can't be implied, or can it be implied?
My Lord, there is no such declaration. And also if your Lordship looks at the petition, they didn't even pray over there that the elections were held properly.
Are you sure?
There is no
petition kahan hai unki?
My Lord, your Lordship will see page 49, which is the prayer clause.
Please read them.
My Lord, hold and declare that the impugned order is without jurisdiction, without lawful authority and illegal, and as a consequence thereof, set it aside forthwith. Hold and declare that proceedings by ECP to question the validity of the IPEs on the basis of...
IPE kya hota hai?
My Lord, intra-party elections.
I don't know why people don't write the whole thing, intra-party elections.
On the basis of any objections, filed by any persons were quorum non juris, illegal and without lawful authority.
Dobara padhiye, I can't understand. Hold and declare
that proceedings by ECP to question the validity of the IPEs on the basis of any objections filed by any persons were quorum non juris, illegal and without lawful authority.
Why? I mean, anybody can go and complain. So I was just reading why
My Lord, because...
I don't understand this prayer. Chale, next go to the C prayer.
Yes.
Find
and declare that election symbol has been illegal and unlawfully been withdrawn, which is inter alia violation of fundamental rights of the petitioners, including Article 17 and Article 25 of the Constitution. Direct the Election Commission of Pakistan to forthwith publish the certificate of PTI on website of ECP as required by Section 209, paragraph 3, in the interest of justice, and to restore its election symbol forthwith. In the meanwhile, suspend the impugned order, so on and so forth.
they have not sought the declaration.
They have not, my lord. The reason appears to be, if your lordship takes a look at page 40.
Because if they get a declaration, they may have left out C, D, E.
Yes.
And I would say the implied praise, and you have to do that once the declaration has been given of free and fair or whatever elections they've held, or in compliance with their own constitution.
You see in paragraph A, I think
Yes.
they will,
Yes, my lord.
obviously they will respond to
Page 43.
I would like to know their
lawful
response.
authority.
My lord,
They have challenged the authority as well as the jurisdiction. Now they has to explain us whether
That
ECP
is the-
can check the inter-party elections or not at this stage, and whether it was a voidable or
that is the central point.
negligible.
I wanted to draw your lordship's attention to ground A.
इसीलिए इधर वो ऑर्डर आ जाएगा लाहौर हाई कोर्ट का लर्नेड सिंगल जज का. उन्होंने ये बात की कि ये फ्रेज उस वक्त मैं दे सकता हूँ कि मैं जब स्ट्राइक डाउन कर दूं. इलेक्शन एक्ट के कौन से दो सेक्शंस थे?
G 209 and 215(5).
वो उनकी वहां तक तो बात अब समझ आई मुझे जाकर के कि उन्होंने क्यों कहा. अब शायद समझ आ रही है बात को. चले, आपकी बात हम मौके समझ गए, कोई और बात नहीं है तो हम आगे बढ़ें.
But may I just show to your lordship ground A? That is the case they are setting up, and that's why they are not seeking the declaration of the election. According to them, ECP has no jurisdiction to challenge the internal appointments of officials of PTI or set aside PTI's intra-party election held on 2nd of December 2023 and declare them void. As such, the impugned order is not sustainable in law. ECP is not a court of law and cannot question the appointment made by any political party or examine the validity of a political party's intra-party election.
But doesn't these prayers violate the constitution then?
Our submission is yes.
Because you are saying something, I'll do whatever I want to do.
Yes.
I mean, contrary to my own constitution, I don't know. I would want certainly assistance of Hamid Khan Saab, and be prepared to be clean bold, Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan.
My lord, may I just, 2 lines from this page, ground B, last 2 lines, they talk about the role of the Election Commission. Only role is to keep a record of the party's constitution and changes, then keep record of elected officers, record sources of funds and campaign
Now, can you
finance.
quickly go through the provisions of the Election Commission in the Constitution of Pakistan?
My lord-
Start from there and proceed with the law.
My lord, yes.
Quickly.
Yes, my lord. Your lordship may turn.
I'm sure you're tired standing up, but
My
we
lord,
at least have the luxury of sitting down. But anyway.
My lord, if your lordship may graciously take a look at articles 213 onwards is the Election Commission, but the relevant
230 or 230?
213, my lord, 213 on is are the provisions relating to Election Commission. The relevant one over here would be 218. Subsection 3.
No, but the whole, ye pura chapter elections pe.
Ji, sir.
Part 7.
Yes, sir. And 218(3). It shall
213 hai, haan.
to 218, paragraph 3, it shall be the duty of the Election Commission to organize and conduct the election and to make such arrangements as are necessary to ensure that the election is conducted honestly, justly, fairly, in accordance with law, and that corrupt...
ये तो general elections की बात है.
Then, sir,
Inter-party election का जिक्र है इसमें कहीं?
सर इसमें नहीं है, सिर्फ एक तरह से आता है 219. The commission shall be charged with the duty of, and if your lordship may turn to clause E, such other functions as may be specified by an act of Majlis Shura Parliament.
अब वो जो इलेक्शन एक्ट है उसको
अच्छा, तो ये आ रहा है 219E के जरिए.
E के जरिए इलेक्शन एक्ट 2017.
या तो इसको चैलेंज करें.
Yes.
अच्छा, एक तो ये हो गया. بنیادی حقوق انہوں نے 2 بنیادی حقوق کا تذکرہ کیا ہے اپنی پریئر میں, ایک ہے 17 اور ایک ہے 25.
My Lord, on Article 17.
ایک ذرا سی بات سن لیجیے نا. 17 کہتا ہے کہ ہر شخص کو الیکشن میں ووٹ ڈالنے کا حق ہوگا اور پولیٹیکل پارٹی بنانے کا حق ہوگا. اس پہ تو کوئی آپ کی کوئی رائے, منفی رائے تو نہیں ہے نا؟
نہیں سر.
ہاں,
No sir, not at all.
اچھا, پھر 25 کیا کہتے ہیں؟ سب کو آپ برابر ٹریٹ کریں گے.
سر
اس پہ بھی آپ کی کوئی
not at all. No.
یہ جو سمبل وغیرہ کا جو ذکر ہے یہ سارا الیکشن ایکٹ میں آتا ہے.
My Lord.
سمبل کا ذکر کہاں آتا ہے الیکشن ایکٹ میں؟
Election
سمبل
Act,
کہتے ہیں اس کو, کیا کہتے ہیں؟
Chapter 12 of the Election Act. rules میرے پاس.
Section 212 کے بعد ہی ہے.
جی سر.
آئین میں تو اس کا تذکرہ نہیں ہے نا؟
نہیں سر.
جی
Sir, allocation of symbols is 214. The Commission shall prescribe a list of election symbols for allocation to political parties, and candidates and the symbols in the list shall be visibly and perceptually different from each other. 215. Notwithstanding anything contained in any other law, a political party enlisted under this act shall be eligible to obtain an election symbol for contesting elections for Majlis-e-Shura Parliament, provincial assemblies or local governments on submission of certificates and statements referred to in sections 202, 206, 209 and 210. If your Lordship may see the next provision, a combination of enlisted political parties will get symbols. And then if your Lordship may see 5, if a political party or parties to whom show cause notice has been issued under subsection 4 fails to comply with the provisions of section 209 or section 210, the Commission may, after affording it or them an opportunity of being heard, declare it or them ineligible to obtain an election symbol for election to Majlis-e-Shura Parliament, provincial assembly or a local government, and the Commission shall not allocate an election symbol to such political party or combination of political parties in subsequent elections.
Is it your case that the only reason political parties will comply with any direction of the Election Commission to hold election is when you hold this stick in one hand? Otherwise, they'll say, we won't hold elections.
Otherwise,
or is there some other mechanism also?
My Lord, there is a mechanism that if given the time frame in their own constitution, if they...
وہ تو آگے پیچھے ہو سکتا ہے. جیسے آپ نے اب وہ والی بحث تو ہمارے سامنے نہیں ہے. آپ نے سال دے دیا.
اس ٹائم فریم پہ بھی ہم ان کو صرف فائن کر سکتے ہیں اور کچھ نہیں کر سکتے. وہ چھوٹا سا فائن ہے, وہ دے کے آگے بڑھ جائیں گے. بٹ if we want to enforce Article 208, elections within a political party, and 209, then the elections should be in accordance with the constitution of a political party. If we don't have the power under 215(5), then these provisions will be purely advisory in nature. There will be no obligation on political party to comply with it, because this election...
مجھے یاد آ رہا ہے وہ دھرنا کیس میں الیکشن کمیشن نے کوئی بات کی تھی, پتہ نہیں, انہوں نے کہا تھا کاسمیٹک ہے, پھر انہیں اپولوجائز کیا کہ law is not cosmetic. I don't know what provision there is. There was something mentioned there which took great exception to that. How can you talk about the law cosmetic? You are bound by the law which gives you the powers also.
And that's part of your Lordship's judgment, and we'll place that judgment on the record that this is what your Lordship...
That's not relevant to this case, so is it?
My Lord, it's relevant to this case, and there are a number of other determinations by this honorable, decisions by this honorable court, where this honorable court has said that the Election Commission is a body which has been created to ensure that elections are held in a fair manner.
No, not the general elections. Inter-political party والے.
My Lord, intra-party پر بھی judgment.
وہ والے judgment دیجئے.
صاحب ویسے اس میں اور بھی کوئی judgment ہے جس میں یہ question of inter-party elections were made subject matter of any judgment?
My Lord, your Lordship must see this.
In which violation was treated so grave.
My Lord, if your Lordship must see where the observations are, this is PLD 212 Supreme Court. PLD 212 Supreme Court 681.
یہ آپ کی بکلیٹ میں ہے؟
جی سر, tab 8.
یہ والی بکلیٹ.
یہ آفتاب احمد خان شیخو کیس آپ کہہ رہے ہیں، یہ کون سا؟
My lord,
نمبر کون سا ہوتا ہے؟
my lord, tab 8.
Tab 1.
Tab 8.
Okay. 8 means workers party.
Yes, my lord.
یہ کیا فرماتا ہے؟ Irrelevant.
My lord, paragraph 42, I'll read 40 later, but 42, the parliament has framed different laws to effectuate the above constitutional provisions and to regulate elections to the national and provincial assemblies. ROPA reiterates and further vests the election.
In material terms, is a vast difference between ROPA and the present Election Act.
My
These
lord-
provisions. कोई खास फर्क है वही है.
My lord, some of these provisions are new, but otherwise it's
Only 12, 215 is new, otherwise all the rest.
all the rest are the same, my lord, except for 5, subsection 5 of 215. But your lordship,
No, has it been, was there in ROPA also 215.5?
no, in ROPA there was no 215.5.
215.5 has not been challenged.
No, my lord.
ठीक.
My lord, regulate and check intra-part, your lordship will see further vest the election commission with the responsibilities and powers to inter alia regulate and check intra-party affairs and actions taken by candidates and parties in anticipation of and on election day, resolve all election disputes, declare the election void, so on and so forth. The last 3 lines, the law therefore entrusts the election commission with exclusive, broad and extensive powers to attend to all issues related directly and ancillary to the election process.
ठीक. Next case.
Agla koi side.
Sir, I need to ask you.
My lord, yes, my lord, your lordship's judgment in the suo motu case number 7 of 2017, PLD 2019,
दूसरी बुकलेट
Supreme
में
Court, my lord, it's in volume 1, tab 9.
इसमें क्या आपने कहा?
Sir, on page 343 of tab 9, paragraph 33, the Election Commission is a constitutional body and the Constitution stipulates that the Election Commission shall ensure that the election is conducted honestly, justly, fairly and in accordance with law and that corrupt practices are guarded against. The Election Commission is also required to undertake such other functions as may be specified by an act of Majlis-e-Shura Parliament. Article 17(3) of the Constitution requires political parties to account for the source of their funds, and Section 211 of the Election Act demands that detail of election expenses be provided. The Election Commission confirmed that TLP did not account for its fund and election expenses, but surprisingly professes its helplessness because the law according to it is cosmetic in nature.
So this is what I recalled.
The Election Commission should disabuse itself that constitutional and legal provisions are cosmetic. The responsibilities placed on the Election Commission by the Constitution and the law must be fulfilled. They are not optional.
इसमें तो वो इलेक्शन एक्सपेंसेस वाली बात नहीं है.
नहीं, इसमें इलेक्शन एक्सपेंसेस वाली बात नहीं, बट देयर इज अ प्रोविजन व्हिच
आपके पास कुछ चल भी तो रहा था ना मैटर, हम अखबारों में पढ़ते थे क्या एक्सपेंसेस वाला केस, उसका क्या बना?
What do they give?
Funding या क्या?
They found violation.
they found a violation, my lord.
हाँ?
They found a violation.
नहीं, वो उसका बना क्या ना, हतमी नतीजा क्या बना उसका?
चलती वाले का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन वाला केस में हमें फाइंडिंग दे,
वो किधर है वो
सर
वो उनको पता होगा. वो
उसमें सर हमने रिपोर्ट दी थी.
नहीं, ये ने क्या हतमी फैसला क्या हुआ इसमें? फैसला रिपोर्ट नहीं पूछ रहे.
The commission found out that there were funds that were received from sources prohibited under law,
बनना
and a
क्या?
show cause notice issued.
आदमी-
उसका final फैसला नहीं आया show cause का to my knowledge. That is still pending.
फैसला नहीं आएगा क्या मतलब?
जी, कानून की रिक्वायरमेंट ये थी कि पहले इलेक्शन कमीशन ये तयन करेगा कि क्या आया प्रोहिबिटेड सोर्सेज से पैसे आए हैं, अगर आए हैं तो शो कॉज करेगा. कमीशन ने शो कॉज कर दिया. उसमें फिर शो कॉज प्रोसीडिंग्स अभी तक पेंडिंग है, उससे कोलैटरल लिटिगेशन होती रही. और आई अंडरस्टैंड
ये तो कब से चल रहा है?
जी 2014 से.
उसमें सर ये अभी एक सिंगल बेंच का फैसला था सर, विद योर परमिशन, और उन्होंने कहा कि आप एविडेंस रिकॉर्ड करें, विच वी हैव चैलेंज दैट वी हैव ऑलरेडी अंडरटेकन द एक्सरसाइज एंड वी नीड नॉट टू फर्दर रिकॉर्ड एविडेंस. देयर इज जजमेंट ऑफ सिंगल बेंच ऑफ द ऑनरेबल इस्लामाबाद हाई कोर्ट. वी हैव चैलेंज दैट थ्रू IC.
9 साल हो गए अभी तक नहीं हो रहा है.
There are multiple litigations. Our orders are changed one after another, and there are.
Ji, and please proceed.
My Lord, this is the...
How long will you take? I hope shortly.
My Lord, very short. PLD 2018, Supreme Court 189. This is
2018.
Supreme Court 189. This is at tab 7 of this volume 1, which your Lordship was just reading. Page is 238. Relevant page is page 238. Your Lordships, on page 238, notice clause E of Article 219 of the Constitution, and the last 4 words on this page. The ECP is an independent and autonomous body which exercises executive and regulatory powers derived from the Constitution. Though it has the power to appoint election tribunals and so on and so forth, my Lord, the ECP itself is a supervisory body which exercises regulatory and administrative powers under the Constitution and the law. The next paragraph, my Lord, the 5th line, your Lordships, we have highlighted that for your Lordships as well. Besides being a limb of the executive that is charged with the duty to conduct and oversee elections in the country, we find that the ECP must necessarily possess the power to collect facts, information and data that enable it to properly and effectively perform such duty. Such a capability represents the constitutional and inherent legal power of ECP. Therefore, in exercise of its powers under Article 6 of the PPO, read with Rule 6, the ECP has all the necessary authority to ask for and collect the requisite information and facts that enable it to decide and determine whether the contributions or donations accepted by a political party are prohibited under Article 6(3). Without such power, we are of the opinion that the ECP's power to decide as to whether a political party is receiving contributions or donations from sources prohibited under Article 6(3) ebate would for all...
Which party was this?
My Lord, it was the case of PTI. This was a case...
ये judgment तो ये 18 का है, अभी तक इस पे अमल नहीं हुआ है?
Sir, not as yet.
Right?
Such a result would be against the clear command of Article 17(3).
Are you disregarding a judgment of the Supreme
No,
Court?
my Lord, we are not. We have then proceeded accordingly.
वो proceedings नहीं है.
That those proceedings have taken place, which my learned friend Mr. Ahmed Hassan was informing your Lordship about.
The show cause proceedings are still pending. My complaint to the Commission that the funds were being...
फैक्ट्स पे नहीं जाए ना, अभी तो इसमें तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट डायरेक्शन दे रहा है ECB को कि काम करो इसका, तो क्यों नहीं किया? ये तो 2018 का जजमेंट है.
For the reason stated कि जी collateral litigation है, there is no other reason to my mind.
ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑर्डर है.
जी बिल्कुल सही बात.
चलिए अगला बताइए.
Paragraph 47, we find it hard to fathom the contention that the intention behind the PPO and the rules is to take away the administrative and regulatory power of the ECP derived from the Constitution to call for any record, information or data from a political party, to ascertain the sources of its contributions and donations, and to place such power exclusively in the hands of a party appointed chartered accountant. Learned Counsel has not been able to show us from any provision of the PPO and the rules framed thereunder, nor from any other principle of law laid down by this court, that failure by the ECP to object the audited statement of account of a political party before its gazette publication would tantamount to the acceptance of the said accounts, and that thereafter the ECP would become functus official.
आगे बढ़े, अगला
My Lord, 48 also I just refer, that has been highlighted. My Lord, the next judgment is at tab 13, that's a PLD 2018, Islamabad 300. That's a judgment of a learned judge. We have highlighted the relevant portions.
यही 3 आप कहना चाह रहे हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के, या कोई और भी है?
These are cases, 35 cases which ECP filed CPs.
जी वो करेंगे जी इधर गया. My Lord, may I just submit that to conclude on this proposition, our respectful submission is that the duty of the ECP to declare that a political party is ineligible for an election symbol when it fails to hold intra-party elections in accordance with its constitution is actually made redundant by the judgment of the Peshawar High Court, and so also are sections 209 read with section 215(5). Because if we do not have that power, then it has far-reaching consequences. We cease to be a body which can have any control over intra-party elections.
बस
My lord, this was the submission on this. There are couple of...
ये आपका राइट ऑफ रिप्लाई भी होगा ना?
जी sir.
अब आप हमें भी जरा
May I just point out one thing? That recent...
आप कोई और बात बताएं?
My lord, the preliminary objection that they have taken, I can...
देखिए हम आपको जो आप अभी तक आपसे बात समझ आई है वो सारी बात घूमती है इनकी अपनी इलेक्शन के बारे में, ठीक है? ये इन्होंने केस ज़रा कहीं और ले गए, बट बुनियादी बात जो आपका एतराज़ था इनका, और यह एतराज़ आज से नहीं, मतलब जब ये हुकूमत में भी थे कि भाई आप इलेक्शन तो करा लें अपनी पार्टी के, तो उन्होंने कहा जी हाँ देर हो गई वगैरह वगैरह, हमें साल दे दें, आपने कहा साल दे दिया। फिर आपका कहना ये है कि आपने जो इलेक्शन कराए सही नहीं है। ये बुनियादी सी बात है। अगर वो इलेक्शन सही है तो मेरे हिसाब से मे बी सब्जेक्ट टू करेक्शन, बाकी रिलीफ विल ऑटोमेटिकली फॉलो। फिर सर्टिफिकेशन आप लाजिम है आप पे, इनका इंतखाबी निशान देना लाजिम है आप पे, वो तो मेरे ख्याल में ऐसी चलेंगी। और अगर ये नहीं दिखा सके कि इलेक्शन उन्होंने सही तौर पे किया है तो शायद इनको फिर कॉन्सिक्वेंस सफ़र करनेंगे। अब दो तीन कानूनी बातें भी खड़ी हो गई हैं। एक बुनियादी कानूनी बात है, खान साहब आप ये नोट कर लें, एक बुनियादी कानूनी बात है कि डिक्लेरेशन इन्होंने नहीं मांगा कि भाई जो हमने इलेक्शन कराया है बिल्कुल सही है। वो उन्होंने कॉन्सिक्वेंशियल रिलीफ पे चले गए। कॉन्सिक्वेंशियल रिलीफ को उर्दू में क्या फरमाएंगे? नताइज और
अमामिल।
ठीक है, तो वो ज्यादा फोकस उधर चला गया है, वो बेसिक बात खत्म हो गई है, पहली बात। दूसरी बात ये है कि वो जो अभी हमने